Assalamualaikum. This is Noor Goodson of Muslims Endure, and today is Workout Wednesday. I wanted to spend today going over a quick warm-up routine and a quick cool-down routine that I encourage you to incorporate into your daily runs and walk. Oftentimes we pay attention only to the walk and run, trying to fit time only for that. But the warm up and the cool down is not a separate thing from your run or your walk. It is very important that you spend the time warming up and spend the time cooling down, even if you have to shorten the time of your run or your walk. So, we are going to go over a really quick routine that you should try to incorporate. There are plenty of things that you can do, but if you are short on time or you're not exactly sure what to do, this is a routine that works well. It opens up your hips, it gets your legs moving, as well as the blood flowing before you go into your more vigorous run or walk. So, we're going to do some seated hip openers. We're going to do some back hip openers. We're going to further warm up our hips by doing some glute bridges. Not only does this warm up our hips, but it also strengthens our glutes, which is very important to a run and walk routine. After we do the glute bridges, we are going to then do some running poses and just holding our form. After we do that, we're going to go straight into a drill called a pull that is going to start warming up our legs and letting them know that, hey, you're about to go out there and you're going to be moving. And then we're going to end our routine with some hops. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 easy moves that you can do and incorporate before you go out for a run. So the first thing is the seated hip openers. You're going to sit with your knees up, more than shoulder width apart. You're going to put your hands in the back to support yourself, and you're going to swing your knee down to meet your foot, and you're going to switch to the other one. It's not about speed. You want to be easy with yourself. It's about feeling your hips opening. Oftentimes our hips are neglected as runners, but they are one of the primary reasons that we start to feel pain in other parts of our body. So we have to spend some time and care on our hips. So we're going to do about 10 of these, opening up our hips. And if you're tight in your hip, you should really feel this. So try to get these in each time you go out for a run. This is something that you can do before you leave your house. All right? So from there, we're going to lay on our back, put our feet at our legs at 90 degrees, and we're just going to tap our foot. Slowly warming our body up. Nothing too vigorous. Slowly warming our body up. So we're going to do about 10 of these. Put your feet down. And we're going to raise our hips off the ground while engaging our glutes. And we're going to do 10 of these. Making sure you feel the squeeze in your glutes and the squeeze in your core. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From here, we're going to stand up, and we're going to practice our running pose. So to do the running pose, you're going to lift your knee up, and you're just going to hold it. The leg that is straight should be slightly bent, and you're just going to hang out here. This serves a couple of purposes. It strengthens your leg. It is allowing you to see how you should be lifting your foot off the ground as you run or walk. So we're just going to hold it for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to switch legs. Making sure that the leg that is straight is slightly bent at the knee. The leg that is pulled, you want to make sure that the ankles are relaxed. Arms are in running position. Shoulders are relaxed. And you're holding it. Then we're going to switch. We're going to switch 3 times. While you're doing this, you want to make sure your whole body is aligned. Your shoulders are aligned with your hips, and your ankle falls right under your hip, and you just want to hold. Switch. Last time. And switch. Make sure that knee is bent on the straight leg. Your ankles are relaxed. If you have to shake it out a little bit, making sure the ankles are relaxed. Everything is aligned. So now that we practice our pose, I don't know about you guys, but I feel warm. I feel like I'm ready to head out the door. I feel my blood flowing. I didn't have to do a whole lot, but my body is slowly warming up. Since we're at a point where we're feeling warm, we're going to do the pose, but this time they're called pulls. This is a hybrid between high knees that some of you guys might be used to, just lifting your knee high, and doing butt kicks. This is a hybrid, so you're going to lift your leg up high. You're just going to pull it up. You're not kicking your butt, so your foot shouldn't be back here. Your leg should be up, similar to the pose, and we're going to do 10 of those. We're going to pull it up fast, and then we're going to drop it down. Pull it up fast, slowly bring it down. Pull it up fast, bring it down. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the last thing you want to do, I feel warm. I feel like my blood is pumping. The last thing you want to do is some hops. Hops are really good for building your muscle elasticity, and which is very important when we're running, especially because we want fast response time once we hit the ground. We do not want to spend a lot of time on the ground because that is when we start to see more injuries with our knees, our ankles, and all the little pains that we feel. So the more we can build up our muscle elasticity, the better chance we have of being able to, as soon as we hit the ground, respond back by lifting our leg. So we're going to, on the ball of our foot, we're just going to put our feet shoulder width apart, and we're going to hop. All right, ladies, so now, very quick warm-up, 5 exercises before you head out the door to get your run on. And also remember, if you are running, it would be beneficial for you to start walking a little bit before you just get straight into your run. So you did your warm-up, you're headed out for your run or your walk. You want to spend a little time walking and easing yourself into your run. You never want to go full-fledged into a run without properly warming up. So guys, now that right, we did our warm up, we went out, we did our run, now we're coming back in. I always like to throw a little bit of strengthening exercises as soon as I come back from my run. So I'm going to encourage you to do about 5 exercises. The first exercise that I would encourage you to do is push-ups. So we're going to get down and we're going to do about 10 push-ups. The number of push-ups that you do depends on you, where you at in your fitness and strength journey. So it's most important to do your push-ups with proper form. So how do you do a push-up? For this particular push-up, we're going to be about shoulder width apart. Your hands are right under your shoulder. You're going to get in the plank position, making sure that you squeeze your abs, your glutes, and you're going to lower yourself, push yourself up. Lower. It's not about speed. It's about proper form. 3, 4, 5. If this is too much for you, simply drop your knees, cross your ankles, and you're going to lower yourself and push yourself up the same way. This is a modified push-up, and no means is this easier. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. After you do your push-ups, we're going to go into squats. And you want to do anywhere between 20 to 25 squats. So the way you do a proper squat, you're going to make sure your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You're going to go down, maybe stopping at 90 degrees. If you can, go a little further. What's most important is that your knees are not going over your toes. You want to return back. When you come up, make sure you engage in your glutes. You want to squeeze. Go back down and up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make sure you breathe. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, turn into a jump squat. When you're coming up, you want to shoot straight up and down. Straight up and down. 3, 4, 5. Woo! All right, from the squats, we're going to move into calf raises. Calf raises are best done on an elevated surface, meaning a curve, a stair. If you have a step bench or anything you can raise yourself up on would be beneficial. But since right now I don't have anything, woo, guys, those squats really got me. Woo. Woo. For a calf raise, you're simply going to go up on your toes. When you're up, you should feel engagement all along your hamstrings, your glutes, all the way into your calves. You're going to lower yourself down and go right back up. Down, up, down, up. These are really good if you're on an elevated surface, your calves are going to go lower, which means you have full range of motion in your calves. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right. So guys, the next thing that we're going to do is clams. Clams are such an important exercise that I would encourage you to try to do on a daily basis. It strengthens your hips. So sometimes if you're having knee pains, this can actually help because as you might know, knee pain is not necessarily what's going on with your knee, but what is going on with everything around your knee. Sometimes weak calves, weak hamstrings, weak quads, as well as weak hips can affect the way our knees feel. So it is beneficial that we strengthen everything around our knee in order to protect it. So clams is one of those exercises that do not necessarily get a lot of attention until you go to physical therapy and you are instructed to do so by your therapist. So, proper way to do a clam. You're going to lay down, making sure your body is aligned. Your legs are stacked up on each other, and you're simply going to open and close, making sure you do not separate your feet. I often like to put a resistance band around my thigh, and this helps with strengthening a little bit more than just on its own without a resistance band. So we're going to do about 20 of these on each side. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So guys, remember if 20 is too much or any of the numbers that I'm saying is too much, you have to listen to your body and you have to do what's best for you. So if you haven't done these before and you're getting to 8 and you feel worn out, great. Go ahead and do one more and stop. I do clams quite often, so especially without a resistance band, I can go for a little bit longer, but we're going to do 5 more and we're going to switch. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we're going to switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 5 more, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So guys, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 strengthening exercises that we can do after each and every single one of our runs, especially if we do not already have dedicated days where we are spending time strengthening our muscles that we are going to need to support our running and walking regimens. Now, after you have strengthened, you must cool down. And cool down includes some static stretching. So the first thing that we're going to do is stretch out our hamstring. Doing a stretch called a forward fold. And like the name suggests, you're going to fold at your hips. You should feel a slight tension in your calves a little bit, but more in your hamstring. Reach wherever you can reach, whether it's your shin, your foot, or the ground. It is okay to have a slight bend in your knees, but you want to feel that stretch, but you also want to breathe through. Breathe in, breathe out. And concentrate on trying to blow that oxygen to your hamstrings. If you do not spend a lot of time stretching, you might really feel this stretch. And remember, it should be slight tension, not pain. So if you feel pain, you need to ease up on your stretch. For each stretch, you want to hold it for about 30 seconds. Making sure you breathe in and out. All right. So from here, we're going to stretch our IT band. And how we do that, we're going to bring our feet right next to each other. They should be parallel. And then you're just going to go right foot over your left foot. Again, feet should remain parallel to one another. And you're going to bend however far you can bend. I'm super tight in my hamstrings, so this is as far as I can go right now. And we're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. All right. So now we're going to switch left foot over right this time. And we're going to continue to fold down. You should definitely feel a stretch in the side of your leg. All right, 15 seconds left. Making sure you're breathing in and out. Each time you breathe out, try to go a little bit deeper into your stretch. All right. So the next thing we want to stretch is our quad muscle. And I'm going to show you two stretches. The standing quad stretch and then a kneeling quad stretch. I prefer the kneeling quad stretch because I feel the stretch a little bit more, but the standing quad stretch is a very familiar stretch and it does the job. So you want to bend at the knee. In order to keep your balance, you want to slightly bend your straight leg so you have a slight bend in your knee. You can hold at your tummy, hold on your head, but most importantly, find one spot to focus on, whether it's straight ahead or down on the ground. And we're going to breathe in and out for 30 seconds. So while we're still in that 30 seconds, I'm going to show you the kneeling one. You go into a runner's lunge, and you want to make sure you actually have. So if you are doing the standing lunge, go ahead. I mean, the standing quad stretch. Go ahead and switch to your other leg while I show you how to do the kneeling one. You want to pull your leg up. You also want to make sure you're protecting your knee. So I like to roll my yoga mat to give myself a little bit more cushion. I get into a nice stretch here, and I simply pull my leg up. I can really feel my quad stretch here. So this is another option into stretching your quad, and then you will switch. So you should have already stretched your both sides of your quads. The next stretch you want to do is actually the runner stretch. And you're going to do both sides. So to get into the runner stretch, you kind of step into a lunge, drop your knee, and you push your hips forward slightly. So each time you take a breath, you're pushing those hips forward slightly. And you're going to sit here for 30 seconds, breathing in and out. And switch. Don't forget to breathe each time you exhale, push out. All right. So the very last stretch we're going to do is stretching out our calf muscles. You can do calf stretches on a curve. You can do it on the stairs. And it's just simply getting on an elevated surface and lowering your calf muscles down. Your heels down, and you'll feel the stretch in your calves. But since we do not have this, one I highly recommend is the downward facing dog. You want to get into a almost triangle pose. Your arms should be straight as a support, and you're going to put your heels into the ground. You should feel a really good stretch in your calf. You can cycle through, pushing one foot down while the other leg is pushing forward, and just cycle through, getting a deeper stretch, or simply just stay static and feel that stretch inside of your calf. This is so important, stretching out your calves and strengthening your calves, because oftentimes when we have shin splints, it's because we have weak calf muscles or tight calf muscles. Also, shin splints can come from doing too much, too fast. So make sure we spend time caring for our shins, caring for our calves, stretching it out. All right. So ladies, we have went over a really quick warm-up you can do before you head out the door for your run or your walk. Some strengthening exercises that you can do when you return, and a proper cool down to make sure we are stretching those muscles that we use the most when we run and we walk. So we're done for today, but know that as we go on, there are other exercises that we can do that will help us warm up, will help us cool down, will help us remain flexible and mobile. So below this video, if I missed any stretches, anything that you like to incorporate in your warm-up, cool down, or your strengthening routine, share it with your sisters. So thank you for tuning in to Workout Wednesday.